minutes, thousands of buildings were razed to the ground. More than close to 50,000 people have died. More than 80,000 people have been injured. Millions of people are affected by this great natural calamity. And we are here all today to provide our support, our empathy, and our commiserations to all those people here. Today we have members from various Michigan communities. We have members from Zanabia and Makkah centers and communities. We have Brother Dawood Walid, who is the Executive Director of CARE Michigan. We have Mayor Bill Bazi. We are expecting Brother Al-Abbas Farhat from District 3. We have Senator Sylvia Santana. We have Wine County Deputy Executive Asad. We have Miko Asi, Director of Constituent Affairs from House District 15. We have Turkish American Cultural Association of Michigan President Mehmet Yaya. And we expect Syrian Refugee Networks members, Dr. Hadi Daya, and other members, Mr. Kevin Nash and Mr. Katrina Arrell. And we have many other dignitaries and members. So before we start the proceedings of this fundraiser, I would like to welcome you all. And like always, we start our proceedings with the name of Allah, whose bounties have always blessed us and who has given us a moment to share this, our blessings with our brothers who need us in this hour of tragedy. So Hussain Jafri will come here and do the tilawat.
صلوات محمد وآل محمد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يعوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم. لا إكراه في الدين قد تبين الرشد من الغي فمن يكفر بالطاغوت ويؤمن بالله فقد استمسك بالعروة الوثقى لا انفصام لها والله سميع عليم. الله ولي الذين آمنوا يخرجهم من الظلمات إلى النور والذين كفروا أولياؤهم الطاغوت من النور يخرجونهم من النور إلى الظلمات أولئك أصحاب النار هم فيها خالدون. صدق الله علي العظيم. صلوات.
Allama Iqbal, one of the great poets of 20th century and in many ways an ideologue for the peoples of subcontinent India and Pakistan. His poetry has transformed the youth of that generation and giving them a sense of dynamism and activism. But he also wrote many poems for the young ones and inspiring in them the qualities of being role models and the leaders of future. One of his famous prayer which is called Bache Ki Dua. The prayer of a kid is about the giving and the sharing qualities and how to be a good Muslim and a good role model. Today these kids are gonna recite that dua and share with you all the poetry that Iqbal used to inspire the youth.
जिंदगी शम्मा की सूरत हो खुदाया मेरी जिंदगी शम्मा की सूरत हो खुदाया मेरी दूर दुनिया का मेरे दम से अंधेरा हो जाए दूर दुनिया का मेरे दम से अंधेरा हो जाए हर जगह मेरे चमकने से उजाला हो जाए हर जगह मेरे चमकने से उजाला हो जाए हो मेरे दम से यूं ही मेरे वतन की ज़ीनत हो मेरे दम से यूं ही मेरे वतन की ज़ीनत जिस तरह फूल से होती है चमन की ज़ीनत जिस तरह फूल से होती है चमन की ज़ीनत जिंदगी हो मेरी परवाने की सूरत या रब जिंदगी हो मेरी परवाने की सूरत या रब इल्म की शम्मा से हो मुझको मोहब्बत या रब इल्म की शम्मा से हो मुझको मोहब्बत या रब हो मेरा काम गरीबों की हिमायत करना हो मेरा काम गरीबों की हिमायत करना दर्दमंदों से ज़ईफ़ों से मोहब्बत करना दर्दमंदों से ज़ईफ़ों से मोहब्बत करना मेरे अल्लाह बुराई से बचाना मुझको मेरे अल्लाह बुराई से बचाना मुझको लेकिन जो राह हो सिरा पे चलाना मुझको नेक जो राह हो सिरा पे चलाना मुझको लब पे आती है दुआ बन के तमन्ना मेरी लब पे आती है दुआ बन के तमन्ना मेरी जिंदगी शम्मा की सूरत हो खुदाया मेरी जिंदगी शम्मा की सूरत हो खुदाया मेरी सलावत
Excellent, great job.
Assalamu alaikum. The great community of Michigan. So we are here to do something for the needy people of Turkey and Syria. So before we start our fundraising, there's a lot of things our kids prepared for you guys. There is a 99 name of Allah our kids prepared. So I will invite those kids to please come on the stage and recite the 99 name of Allah. Bar Muhammad wale Muhammad salawat.
You have the best. You have to come up. You're Alina. You're on my show. You're on my show. Sorry.
Excuse me. Hina, somebody. Hina, green trip now. Okay, so. Okay. Some of them have the forms.
This is holding them.
Okay, wait. No, not yet.
Yeah, I'll hold them. It's okay. One the card.
अच्छा मैं इसमें जाना अपना इसको बंद कर देते हैं ऐसा ना हो फोन बजे तुम्हारा उसे लाओ
Wait.
Okay, chalo. Okay, okay, ready? One. When I said one.
أسألك يا من هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الرحمن الرحيم الملك القدوس السلام المؤمن المهيمن العزيز الجبار المتكبر الخالق البارئ المصور الغفار القهار الوهاب الرزاق الفتاح العليم القابض الباسط الخافض الرافع المعز المذل السميع البصير الحكم العدل اللطيف الخبير الحليم العظيم الغفور الشكور العلي الكبير الحفيظ المقيت الحسيب الجليل الكريم الرقيب المجيب الواسع الحكيم الودود المجيد الباعث الشهيد الحق الوكيل القوي المتين الولي الحميد المحسن المبدئ والمعيد المحيي المميت الحي القيوم الواجد الماجد الواحد الصمد القادر المقتدر المقدم المؤخر الأول الآخر الظاهر الباطن الوالي المتعال البار التواب المنتقم العفو الرؤوف مالك الملك ذو الجلال والإكرام المحسن الجامع الغني المغني المانع الضار النافع النور الهادي البديع الباقي الوارث الرشيد الصبور الذي ليس كمثله شيء وهو السميع البصير.
So our young is one of our wings of our community. So one of the young kids prepared the speech about the generosity, about the helping the humanity. So I'm going to invite Ahmad Ali come to the stage, and he need to. Alina Bukhari, please come to the stage and speech about the humanity and the how we can donate towards the humanity. But Muhammad Wali Muhammad Salawat.
Should I start? Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Lena Bukhari and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about why we're all here today. Huh?
I request everyone at the back, please, we have a very auspicious occasion. We all are here gathered for a purpose. We all are here for a common cause. I request all of you, please be seated and let's pay attention to all these people who are here, all these young ones who have their thoughts and their prayers, and they are here to deliver a message. Please be seated and let's listen to the young ones from our community and see what they have to say about it.
Okay. Should I start? Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Alina Bukhari and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about why we're all gathered here today, which is for the fundraiser for the Syria and Turkey earthquake. Next slide. Next slide. Next. Okay. So not too long ago, there was a disastrous earthquake that hit Syria and Turkey, and there were actually 2 earthquakes involved. So the first earthquake had a magnitude of 7.8, which is very, very high. And it happened near southern Turkey, near the border of Syria. And actually, one of the main places it hit was a city called Gaziantep. And in Gaziantep, there were many Syrian refugees and many Syrian camps for them in their homes, and that all got destroyed. And then 9 hours after that first earthquake, about 59 miles away from that, there was another earthquake that hit, and that was had a magnitude of 7.5. So there were 2 very high earthquakes, and it caused a lot of disaster. Many people lost their lives, their homes, and their families. Next slide. So charity is a very important part. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are airing this live, so please, 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 we want complete silence. Your attention is greatly appreciated with great salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Thank you so much.
So charity is a really important part of these causes. That's why we're all here today. And besides helping others, it can also do a lot for us. So for instance, it can build and strengthen our communities as we all come here together, as we are here today. And when we grow bonds with the people in our community, we can get things done faster and more effectively because we all know each other and we can include each other in all the different things we have to do to host fundraisers like these. It also strengthens personal values. As we figure out what people are going through these charity causes and fundraisers, it changes the way our mindset works and how we think. It changes our goals and what goals we have planned, and it really just changes our whole entire lifestyle. So it's really important. And it also influences others. So if you think about it like a chain, when you see one person being empathetic, you therefore get influenced by them, and the chain spreads. And that's how it kind of worked here, and we're all here today. Next slide. So I have a quote from Imam Ali alayhi salam, and he said, "Charity is the best means of attaining closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala." So when we think about this quote, we know that many of our goals is to get close to Allah and go closer to Him. And charity is a great way to do that because it teaches us a lot about that. Next slide. Next slide. So as a youth myself, involving the youth is a really important thing, I feel, because youth like me are the future of programs like IMI and other charity fundraisers. So therefore, it's really important that we get them involved. And it can do a lot for the youth. For instance, it encourages the youth to look at the world around them. Obviously, us as youth, we have all our devices, and sometimes we can get glued to those. But charity is a great way for us to look around and see what's really going on in the world, and it can open our eyes as youth. Secondly, it teaches a lot about empathy to the youth, since our personalities are changing and growing, and it's really important that they grow in a good way, of course. So when we're involved in these charity programs, our empathy grows, and that's a really important thing. And having that in our personality can cause us to be really successful in the future. And lastly, it helps find passion. So when we're participating in all these programs like this one, we find what we enjoy, and therefore when we find our passion, it creates opportunities for us in the future. So, and the faster us as youth, the faster we can understand these concepts, the more we can get things done. So the faster we get involved, the more we can accomplish in the future. Next slide. Oh no, actually, stay. Sorry. No, that's good. So despite knowing all of this, a lot of the times we look back on maybe fundraisers or events that we missed, and we always hear ourselves saying, like months later, weeks later, even years later, like, I wish I donated, I wish I did this. We always hear the phrase, I wish, over and over. And part of the reason why we are here today is to change that statement of I wish to I have. Thank you.
As you know, IMI is one of the medical organization of all medical professions. IMI working all over the world. We having our chapter near about 24 countries. And we are working towards the humanity, helping the humanity. Like if we talk about Pakistan, India, all those, because most of the public here from Pakistan or India, so we have very active chapters there in Pakistan. In 2005, when Pakistan have an earthquake, Alhamdulillah, IMI did great job, and we sent huge amount, tremendous amount. We collect from the different masajid of Michigans, and we send them and help there in Pakistan. अपने लिए तो सब ही जीते हैं इस जहां में, अपने लिए तो सब ही जीते हैं इस जहां में, है जिंदगी का मकसद औरों के काम आना. और वो कहते हैं कि करो मेहरबानी तुम अहले ज़मी पर और खुदा मेहरबान होगा अर्शे बरी पर. अब जैसा कि एवरीवन नो के तुर्की में और सीरिया में जो बहुत बड़ा ज़लज़ला आया है, और उसके सिलसिले में वी हैव लॉट ऑफ लॉस ऑफ आवर लाइव्स एंड दे रियली नीड आवर सपोर्ट. सो IMI working there since the day first in Turkey and in Syria. So we are gathered here to do something, or collect some fund for those people who really need our generosity, who need our help. And क्योंकि ये प्रोग्राम हैदर टीवी पे डायरेक्ट टेलीकास्ट हो रहा है ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड, सो मोस्टली हैदर टीवी देखा जाता है इंडो पाक पब्लिक में, तो ज़रूरी है कि उर्दू में भी बात की जाए ताकि वहाँ लोग समझ सके. तो जो लोग भी हैदर टीवी में इस वक्त सुन रहे हैं, तो आप लोग वहाँ से डायरेक्ट प्लेजेस कर सकते हैं टुवर्ड्स द IMI. सो यू हैव अकाउंट नंबर देयर एंड वी हैव अ टैक्स एग्जम्पशन. So please go and come and do what you can do for those humanity all over the world, and especially for Syria and Turkey. They need our help. So we're going to continue our program, and I would like to invite the brother Akhtar Abbas, and he will talk about, and he will represent one of the video which we got from the Turkey ambassador.
So we do have a message from the Consulate General of Turkiye. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here with us, but his message is here, and he was kind enough to send his video. So let's listen to his video. And
Good afternoon. My name is Nurten Ural. I am the Turkish Honorary Consul General in Detroit. I'm also the CEO of the Turkish Resource Center. First of all, I would like to thank IMI for inviting me to this event. Unfortunately, and I'm very disappointed to say, that I will not be there in person. I would like to thank IMI for organizing this event and for all its efforts for this cause. And I would like to thank each and every one of you for being here and for caring. 2 catastrophic earthquakes struck southeast Turkey and northwest Syria on February 6 at a magnitude of 7.8 and 7.6. And then again, more hit in the same area on February 20th at a magnitude of 6.4 and 5.8, with 45
audio system is not
aftershocks. This was the worst natural disaster in the region for a century. 26 million people need assistance across both of these countries. Over 50,000 people have been found dead and over 110,000 people injured, with numbers expected to rise. Many of these people are in urgent need of shelter, food, and medical aid. Thousands of buildings, including hospitals and schools, have collapsed and infrastructure has been badly damaged. Many local and international organizations have immediately come to help in this area. Thank you to all the various countries and organizations that have and are currently providing help. Much more help is needed. And good afternoon. My name is Nurten Ural. I am the Turkish Honorary Consul General in Detroit. I'm also the CEO of the Turkish Resource Center. First of all, I would like to thank IMI for inviting me to this event. Unfortunately, and I'm very disappointed to say, that I will not be there in person. I would like to thank IMI for organizing this event and for all its efforts for this cause. And I would like to thank each and every one of you for being here and for caring. 2 catastrophic earthquakes struck southeast Turkey and northwest Syria on February 6 at a magnitude of 7.8 and 7.6. And then again, more hit in the same area on February 20th at a magnitude of 6.4 and 5.8. With 45 aftershocks, this was the worst natural disaster in the region for a century. 26 million people need assistance across both of these countries. Over 50,000 people have been found dead and over 110,000 people injured, with numbers expected to rise. Many of these people are in urgent need of shelter, food, and medical aid. Thousands of buildings, including hospitals and schools, have collapsed and infrastructure has been badly damaged. Many local and international organizations have immediately come to help in this area. Thank you to all the various countries and organizations that have and are currently providing help. Much more help is needed and will be needed for a long time. There is a growing concern over health issues like cold weather, hygiene, and sanitation, and the spread of infectious diseases. People like you at IMI, in a world like this, across the world, showing help, shows hope of humanity, and shows that we are one world. Again, I would like to thank each one of you for being here and for caring. Thank you.
We have with us Dr. Sabah, who is the IMI Chapter Coordinator President, and she's going to come and talk to you about some of the scope of activities that IMI does. Dr. Sabah.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you for your patience. We will really appreciate silence because, as you all know, we have gathered here for a very important cause, and we would like your full attention. So I want to begin by thanking you all for being here. I really appreciate your presence, and we are very honored that today we are graced by the presence of Dr. Waji Rizvi, who is the founder of IMI, and we are honored to have him. We are also very honored to have some of our dignitaries here, such as Mayor Bazi, I thank you, and also Ilham Ghaznavi, thank you for being here, and Mehmet Yahya, the president of Turkish American Cultural Association of Michigan. And all the respected dignitaries, I thank you all for your presence. I know you all have a busy schedule, so we appreciate you taking out time and being here. And I also want to thank the whole Michigan community, all of you who are here, because it was not easy to arrange a fundraiser within a month's time. And when Dr. Waji Rizvi very kindly suggested to the IMI Michigan Chapter team to arrange a fundraiser, since it was a need of the hour, we wanted to go ahead and do it, but time was very limited. But it's because of all of you and our great Michigan community that I have great trust and faith that we were able to pull it together. So I thank you all. So even though a lot of people are familiar with IMI, Imamia Medics International, but there's still a lot of people amongst us who are not very familiar with what IMI does or what IMI is. You will be hearing more about IMI from the founder of IMI, Dr. Waji Rizvi himself, but I just want to shed some light very briefly. So IMI is a registered 501 nonprofit organization that is accredited by the United Nations. And the best thing about IMI is that it has no political support. It's not an organization backed by any political affiliations. IMI is made by members and people like you and I. We make IMI, and that's what makes IMI so unique, because it's all about serving humanity and serving people. So it's really made by people, all of you who are here. I recently got associated with IMI, even though I am familiar with IMI for many, many years. I have known IMI since my childhood days in Karachi, Pakistan. And the reason I associated myself with IMI is because of the reason that you all are here, and that is humanity. Because of the love for humanity, which IMI is about, IMI is able to expand itself to so many different countries and continents. We are spread across 5 continents, including Asia, North America, Africa, and Australia. And IMI has many local chapters and international chapters working efficiently for humanitarian causes. Next slide, please. So all this is possible because of our inspiration. IMI's inspiration comes from the Quranic verse that says, "And who saved the life of one will save the life of the mankind." And that is what makes IMI so unique, because we believe in saving lives and serving humanity. And it particularly became very easy for me to become a part of IMI, because as a physician, as a healthcare profession, I took the oath of saving lives. And IMI just gives me another platform to go ahead with my commitment that I made when I became a healthcare profession. Next slide, please. So it's very difficult for me to just summarize the whole work that IMI does, because it's so extensive, but I will briefly talk to you all about some of the things IMI does, which include professional development, health service, and humanitarian relief. And I want you all to watch a small video. Let's play the video, please. this video just gives you a small synopsis of what IMI is about. I'm sorry, are we having technical problems? So while they are working on that, I just want to briefly touch base that IMI has been involved in several humanitarian causes for many, many decades. And one of the reasons why we all have gathered here is for humanity. We are gathered here to raise funds for those suffering in Turkey and Syria. And whenever there is humanity, IMI is there. IMI is irrespective of boundaries and borders. You will find IMI workers and IMI organizations wherever help is needed in terms of humanity and serving humanity. So, I'm sorry. I guess we can skip the video, that's okay. Can I move on to the next slide, please? I apologize for the technical difficulties that we are experiencing today. Hopefully we will be able to overcome by the end of my presentation. So thank you for your patience. Can we go on to the next slide, please?
I'm so sorry. There is a Chrysler Town and Country dark blue.
Yes, so thank you everyone. Whoever has that car, please can you come forward and take care of it, because it's really disturbing.
There's a car.
I think I got it.
Okay.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So I just want to briefly touch some of the services that IMI has been providing for so many decades. One of them is IMI has been providing career guidance for students in health fields, placement assistance for residencies, rotations and observerships, as well as mentorship. I definitely want the youth who's present here to please look up our website, because IMI is actively arranging a lot of webinars, career webinars, conferences. Those of you who are in studying medicine, they have CME conferences. You can find details of all that on imamiamedics.com. So please check our website. Next slide. And the health services. Health services is, it's very hard again to summarize how much IMI has been contributing to healthcare, especially to those who are underserved and underprivileged. Those of us who are privileged and have insurance, we are very fortunate. But there's a huge population of people who don't have any of this. And IMI conducts free medical clinics, free medical camps, vaccination drives, screenings, and so much more. IMI is also involved in annual medical missions in Hajj and Karbala, and those of you who have been to these holy pilgrimages have experienced, or most of you must have experienced that firsthand. And that's what makes IMI so unique, that they're always there to help the people. Next slide. And of course, the humanitarian relief and recovery, that's the biggest work that IMI has been doing. And like I said before, IMI does not believe in borders and boundaries. Wherever there's a catastrophe, crisis, IMI will be there. Whether it's the famine in East Africa, or the tsunami that happened in Sri Lanka, or the hurricanes, Katrina and the superstorm Stanley that happened in the US, or the recent floods that happened in our own country, Pakistan, IMI was on grounds helping everyone who needed us. And that is the reason why we are gathered again today in such a short time, because the need of the hour is to collect funds for those suffering in Turkey and Syria. I want you all to watch this video, which will highlight some of the facts. It's okay, we don't have to actually, this video was just highlighting some of the things that are happening in Turkey and Syria because of the devastation and what IMI is doing on grounds. But I can share that with all of you. What these people are suffering in Turkey and Syria is beyond our imagination. Just imagine, I want all of you to pause for a second and think about those people who are going through this suffering. Just think about them as all of us. We live a healthy life, we have beautiful families, and all of a sudden we wake up one day and all of that is gone. I think we're able to get the video, so I'll let you watch this. So this is just like, we just watched this video for a few seconds, and I'm pretty sure you all went through this emotion, that how difficult it must be for these people. So that's why we wanted all of you to gather under this roof to help us accumulate funds for the people who are suffering in Turkey and Syria. I want you all to understand that earthquake is one of the worst natural disasters that can hit any country, especially with countries like Turkey and Syria that have such fragile infrastructure and healthcare systems. They need our support. The initial resuscitation was done by a lot of organizations, including IMI, and that is greatly appreciated by the people and the government over there. But the real work starts now, and that's why we have gathered. We have to work towards the rehabilitation and reconstruction for these people, and that has to be an ongoing process. We require constant funds, and IMI is one organization that has chapters in both these countries. IMI has a chapter in Turkey, and IMI has a chapter in Syria named as IMI Zainab. Those representatives are working with IMI representatives and making sure that the people in need get the help. I also want to end my speech by quoting our first Imam, Hazrat Ali alayhi salam, who said, "You treat others how you want to be treated." So I want you to think about the people suffering in Turkey and Syria, and just for a second, think about how they would be like to be treated. We have to treat them with kindness and generosity, and I appeal to you all, whoever who can, please donate generously to this cause, because your donations will reach to those people. And we at IMI promise you that. Thank you so much.
Again, we would like to thank you all. We have in this hall with us the board members of various centers in Michigan. We have board members from Makkah. We have board members from Islamic House of Wisdom. We also want to thank Sadr Foundation's People for Humanity and Share. With us, we have many dignitaries from the area. We have Sayyid Qazwini, who is the spiritual leader of Makkah. We have Brother Dawood Walid, who is the executive director of CARE Michigan. We have Mayor Bill Bazi. We also have Akwasi, director of Constituent Affairs, House District 15. We have Turkish American Cultural Association of Michigan's President Mehmet Yahya. We have Syrian Refugee Network Services President Dr. Hadi Daya, and we have the members from the same association, Mr. Kevin Nash and Mr. Katrina Arrow. So thank you all for being here. Most importantly, all of you who are here with your support and with your contributions towards this great cause. I would like to invite Mayor Bill Bazzi to come and have a few words. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. I tell you, I'm speechless. You know, you really touched my heart, and all the youth that were here earlier today. It just gives me confidence. You know, just like youth are really engaged with something with the devastation that we have seen in the last month or so. You know, in Turkey and also in Syria. I'm really inspired. I've seen a lot of great things our youth has been doing for the last, couple years that I've been in this office. And I tell you, people say that, say something about our youth. Our youth are doing a lot more than we did when I was their age. And this is very important, work by IMA. I'm really impressed. I really want to thank everyone for being here today. So I want to welcome you to the beautiful Bellagio here in the city of Dearborn Heights. Thank you so much for everyone being here today for that great cause. And something that really caught my eye is when I was looking at this poster, it kind of reminded me when I was a youth, the same age as the ones that were here earlier today. When I grew up in the war, and I've seen the devastation. And it really needs organizations like these here, like IMA, to really help out, to reach out. And one of the things that really caught my eye with this poster is people have lost everything. Don't let them lose hope. And when people lose hope, like I said, I've been there. I'm speaking from experience. This is the worst thing. And I was in the military for 21 years. I've done some humanitarian missions overseas. And I tell you, once you have somebody, a youth, or anybody lose hope, they lose pretty much everything. So this is a great statement made here. Don't let people lose hope. Let them know that we're here for them. And I thank everyone for being here today. Thank you all, and God bless everyone in here. Thank you.
So, as you know, we are here to raise the fund for victim. So, I don't want to talk too much about IMI, the effort or the efforts, all the works for humanity IMI doing all over the world. So, we have a limited time, so we have to go for our fundraising too, and then we have a dinner after. So first of all, we have to thank those other masajid which I personally talked to them, like Iona, Board of Director of Iona, they endorsed. Unity Center, they endorsed IMI events, and Bilal, Masjid Bilal, Canton, they endorsed this. And I talked to Tawhid centers and other masajid, and alhamdulillah I am looking here like Michigan की जो top cream है वो यहाँ पर बैठी हुई है, और इस वक्त ये गुलदस्ता है मुख्तलिफ रंग के फूलों का, और यहाँ अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह हम मौजूद हैं, और मेरे साथ सामने बहुत सी ऐसी वो पर्सनैलिटीज़ बैठी हैं जो हमेशा ऐसे कामों में आगे होते हैं. तो इंशाल्लाह मुझे उम्मीद है कि आप लोग इसमें बढ़ चढ़ कर हिस्सा लेंगे. तो अब जो मैं बुलाने जा रहा हूँ, अब मैं उनके बारे में क्या बात करूं कि इकबाल का एक शेर है कि हज़ारों साल नरगिस अपनी बेनूरी पे रोती है, बड़ी मुश्किल से होता है चमन में दीदावर पैदा. I was talking about when I was in my second year medical school in Sindh Medical College, Karachi. So brother came and mentioned me like we are going to establish one of the organization which is called IMI, and we need your help. And since that day, I am working for IMI. I am the ex-in charge of Michigan chapter. Now I am the board of member of communication and public relation of US of IMI. And there's a lot of responsibility now on me. So I don't want to take too much time from you guys. So I'm going to invite one and only the founder of IMI, कि उन्होंने एक ख्वाब देखा और उसकी ताबीर. इस वक्त आपकी टेबल पे ये येलो बुक है, आप इसमें देखें तो IMI ने पूरी दुनिया में जो काम किया है तो आप देखेंगे तो खुद हैरान हो जाएंगे. और जब मैंने देखा तो मुझे भी यकीन नहीं आया कि इतना कुछ कर चुके हैं हम और इतना कुछ कर रहे हैं. So please take that book with you and look at, you will see like how much we are doing and how much we already did for the humanity. So inshallah we are going to establish one of the big hospital in Karachi. So brother, I'm going to invite, मैं उसका नाम ना लूँ और लोग पहचाने कि आप अपना तारुफ हवा बहार की है. तो आपकी तालियों में मैं बुलाने जा रहा हूँ डॉक्टर वजीर रिजवी, द फाउंडर ऑफ IMI.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. These are very precious moments, precious for me and precious for you and precious for the suffering humanity. I would like to first of all thank the IMI Michigan Chapter, Dr. Sabah Azhar, who has very eloquently mentioned what IMI is and what IMI is doing, and Dr. Kambar Jafri, now IMI US Board of Directors, and all of you, our robust team, our vibrant team here in Michigan. I would not like to duplicate what has already been said by Dr. Azhar, so please move these slides forward. Just a very, very brief introduction about IMI. IMI was established in this country in 1986. In 1994, IMI received its accreditation with the US authorities as 501c3 global medical platform. In year 2000, IMI received the accreditation with the United Nations. At that year, more than 1,335 organizations had applied for UN recognition, of which only 35 were accepted, of which there were only 8 North American organizations, and IMI was one of them. With a lot of work that we did for humanity around the world, in year 2006, we were conferred the special consultative status with the United Nations. By that time, IMI has already sent more than 1,000 delegates to the UN and its events and its missions. and have co-sponsored certain events and conferences with the United Nations. To date, IMI has provided general medical care to more than 3.3 million patients. Free or low-cost medicine was provided to more than 1.2 million patients. And these are some statistics as to how and what we have done around the world serving humanity. We were in Haiti when the earthquake came. We were in Kashmir when earthquake hit Southeast Asia. We were in floods in Pakistan. We were in COVID on ground in many countries around the world serving humanity, putting more than $1.5 million on ground, all the way from US to Burkina Faso, which is the 14th poorest nation on earth. Next slide, please. So as Sabah has already mentioned, these are the 4 focus areas of IMI's work globally. Next, please. IMI expanded from 3 people sitting in a basement in Long Island, in East Meadow, Long Island in 1986, now to over 25 countries with more than 80 projects ongoing. Next, please. So Sabah has already mentioned these are some pictorial depictions of the IMI's clinics and provision of healthcare, education. We run lots of charitable clinics around the world, in Africa, in Middle East, in subcontinent, etc. Mobile health units, telemedicine services, blood donations, vaccinations. Next, please. In educational activities of all the, leaving aside all the other educational activities, IMI has provided training to more than 1,000 aspiring young and talented doctors coming to the shores of America so that they excel in the American health system and reach at the top. And we have some fascinating stories. This is a project of IMI called NEST Project, Nourishment, Encouragement, Support, and Trust, so that we help the American health system by providing the system with the finest of the medical professionals and also train them to meet the challenges of future around the world. Next, please. In terms of career guidance, research and conferences, etc., IMI has established a university called Sadiq International Virtual University, the chancellor of which is actually the mentor of many of the physicians here, Dr. Shabi Zaidi out of UK. That university is a virtual university that has engaged more than 2,000 elite physicians from around the world with robust programming. And now we are heading towards establishing a physical university that will be coming up in Karachi. Next, please. These are some pictures of the next program. Next, please. I already mentioned. Next, please. Next, please. Advocacy. Next, please. So I'll take a moment of your time here to also mention that advocacy is also an important part of our work. And the advocacy that we do is for humanitarian causes as well as disease-related causes. So for instance, at the United Nations, there is a subset called NCD, or Non-Communicable Disease Alliance, which is headquartered out of Brussels, and IMI is as an important part of that caucus that advocates the importance of non-communicable diseases, because Western Hemisphere is mainly afflicted by the non-communicable diseases versus the Eastern Hemisphere, where infectious processes are the leading causes of death. These are some pictures of our meetings with various dignitaries and people of meaning who are concerned with the humanitarian works around the world. So in the first picture, you can see the foreign minister of Pakistan at that time, Hina Rabbani Khair, who came to United Nations to chair the Committee for Human Rights, and we had extensive discussions regarding the humanitarian situation in Pakistan at that time. In the picture below, you can see Professor Verasit Hasnan, a professor of journalism, heading a press conference at NPT in Washington, D.C. on health-related matters in U.S. and some humanitarian issues around the world. Next, please. So there are many, many such pictures that you can continue to see. I won't go into the details of all of them, so please move to the next picture. This is a demonstration that was held in front of United Nations called 10,000 Souls March. So in honor of all the people who were victims of targeted killings around the world, IMI held this 10,000 Souls March, which is considered by independent observers as to be the largest ever demonstration in front of the United Nations some years ago, putting 10,000 people in front of UN. Such a demonstration was never ever seen in front of the UN in its 70 years history. Next, please. This is a picture of the British Parliament and Professor Shabi Zaidi talking to the parliamentarians in British House of Commons on the human rights issues around the world. And this is me talking to Nancy Pelosi in Washington, D.C. in the Muslim Health Summit that was organized by Keith Ellison in D.C. so as to the congressmen and senators be appraised of the global Muslim health issues. Next, please. These are also some pictures of the advocacy work that IMI is doing. Next, please. We'll continue to move, please. Continue to move. Next, please. So these are some pictures from Superstorm Sandy, which was a very devastating storm that hit the Northeast America some years ago. And below are pictures from Haiti, where we sent a team of 15 surgeons and doctors who performed yeoman work. And when Ban Ki-moon came to Haiti, he has appreciated the work that IMI did, and it's on YouTube. Next, please. So these are some pictures of IMI's urban medical mission. So let me also tell for the general public's information that the largest human assembly on earth happens in Karbala, where every year 20 to 23 million people gather to pay homage to Imam Hussein alayhi salam. This is the largest human assembly on earth. And IMI establishes a mini hospital in Karbala for about a week. About 150 physicians volunteer their services for this hospital. I was there last year as well, and what we do is we see about 150,000 patients in a 7-day span. There is no other medical professional body in the world, and this is a challenge. Not even Doctors Without Borders, not even nobody else, who sees 150,000 patients at any given spot on earth to date. It's a Guinness Book reportable event. We were 20 subspecialties: cardiology, GI, endocrine, rheumatology, pain management, dentistry, et cetera, who see these many people without any cost. So a lot of what IMI is doing, the charitable clinics or ambulance services or mobile health units, et cetera, and all these missions, we fund all of that through our own pockets. We pay our own tickets, we pay for our own lodging, et cetera, and we fund from our own pockets to serve humanity. Next, please. Similarly, IMI has a Hajj medical mission that sees about 50 to 60,000 people in Saudi Arabia every year at Hajj. During COVID, I would say from the mountains of Himalayas to the shores of Karachi and to the villages of Burkina Faso and Africa and Middle East, etc., we served humanity without any respect to caste, creed, race, religion, etc., to the extent that 2 years ago when we had our national conference in Atlanta that was addressed by the congressman and senator of Atlanta, the most important person on COVID on earth, the chair of CDC, Dr. Rochelle Walensky, who was the keynote at the conference, in her 15-minute speech, she has praised IMI like in her 15-minute speech, has greatly applauded the efforts of IMI placed on ground in US and around the world. We were part of not only doing the medical work, but also at the US congressional level and at the United Nations level, we were part of developing all the guidelines, opening of the schools or opening of the places of worship, et cetera, and so on. In addition to putting almost $1.5 million on ground. Next, please. Next. Next, please. So these are some pictures of IMI's international conferences. I don't think we have time to really go over all that, so please move forward. Please continue to move forward. Continue to move. Continue to move, please. Just for the information of everybody here, IMI's 11th International Conference is coming up in New Zealand, which will be 17th through 23rd of November in Auckland. And the outgoing Prime Minister of New Zealand, Jacinda Ardern, has consented to be, while she was the Prime Minister, consented to be the chair of the keynote speaker at the conference. But inshallah, we'll try to get her on board because she is a global hero. Next, please. Next, please. So the distinguished speakers who have attended IMI's conferences or who were part of IMI structure, etc., just a very sample thing I'll take is, I don't know if you can see very clearly, but if you see that picture, this depicts in the center in the white coat is Professor Mehdi Hassan. Now, those of you who are physicians, I don't think anybody could become a physician without reading Gray's Anatomy, right? So there is one person who has been referenced, one Muslim physician who has been referenced by Gray's Anatomy is Professor Mehdi Hassan. Professor Mehdi Hassan was the advisor emeritus for IMI India. He was the principal of Jawaharlal Nehru Medical College in Aligarh. And he was one of the most outstanding of the anatomists that Gray's has referenced. The most outstanding of the contemporary Indian cardiologist, Naresh Trehan, when he used to come to India, he would first kiss the feet of Dr. Mehdi Hassan before doing his work. That's how respected he was, and he was part of IMI's International Advisory Board. Another person that you see is Professor Faiz Sandouk of Damascus, Syria. Dr. Sandouk is a world authority on biliary ascariasis and was the president of the Syrian Arab Gastroenterology Society and vice president of the Pan-Arab Gastroenterology Society. So these are the kinds of people who come to IMI's conferences and deliver their expertise. Next, please. Next, please. Continue to move. Please move forward. Continue to move, please. Let me also mention Dr. Asif Durakovic. Dr. Asif Durakovic was the Bosnian Muslim Sufi leader who was a world authority on nuclear medicine and has done some phenomenal work on in terms of nuclear medicine. He was one of our keynote speakers in our Iraq conference in Najaf some years ago. Below him, you see Dr. Dean Saeed Abu Zahra, who was the ex-dean of the Kufa University of Medical Sciences, and he currently represents IMI headquarters in Iraq. Next, please. You can see the congressman of the state of Georgia talking to Sheikh Salami, who represents the holy shrines of Karbala in North America. Next, please. Next, please. Next, please. These are glimpses from the IMI Silver Jubilee Conference held in 2019, December 2019 in Pakistan. Next, please. Next, please. You can see Rochelle Walensky, the director of CDC, delivering the keynote at Atlanta's conference. Next, please. And I wanted to bring you to this, which is the last picture of this category, Sheila Jackson. Sheila Jackson is the congresswoman from Texas. We recently had our national conference in Houston, Texas, just a few months ago. And Sheila Jackson is not only the congresswoman from Texas, but she's also the chair of Pakistan-American Friendship Council. For the first time in our 35 years of existence, IMI was awarded a special congressional award that was conferred by Sheila Jackson on behalf of the US Congress for all the humanitarian work that we do around the world. And following in her tradition, the other congressman, Al Green from Texas, also conferred a similar award following morning. Next, please. Next, please. Now, the earthquake in Turkey and Syria on February 6, 2023. Next, please. So we have chapters, as I said, in 25 countries, including Turkey and Syria. So what are we doing in Turkey in the first place and Syria next? So it's just a coincidence that the esteemed guest we have from representing the Turkish community, his name is Mehmet. We greatly appreciate your presence today. And our chapter representative in Syria, in Turkey, his name is also Mehmet Tetsmir. He's a pediatric nephrologist in Istanbul. So we are working in Turkey for many years, especially in terms of student support, career guidance, and health clinics and networks. Our major partners on ground are Medzin and Anna Zehra, who have worked tirelessly and still working in the devastated areas hit by the earthquake. In Syria, after a hectic legal paperwork over 2.5 years, IMI's legal team based out of DC, we have had the opportunity to transparently and legally establish an entity called IMI Zainab in honor of Shehzadi Zainab, the granddaughter of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It is probably through her blessing that we got the registration. And we have been working in Syria for almost 3 years now. Our major partners in Syria are 3 organizations. The major one is the IGATHA. And we have a medical center of excellence established in Damascus, serving tons of community. And then there are 2 other centers in the mountains and in other areas around Damascus. We also have presence and work going on in Zainabiyya and also in the Aleppo area. Aleppo is also a very revered area and a spiritual area for millions of Muslims around the world. All our services are for the entire humanity. There is no distinction in terms of color, caste, creed, religion, etc. All these services are transparently provided to everybody who is in need of. As the insignia is that whoso saveth the life of one, it is as if he had saved the life of all mankind. The inspiration is drawn from Surah Maida, ayat number 32 of the Holy Quran. And that is why we are there wherever the need is. So what is the future plan? So what we have done so far in the devastated quake-struck areas is shelter, food, medicine, whatever the urgent needs are, and medical care. But moving forward, yes, this is some history of Aleppo that is being depicted in this slide. It is the oldest inhabited city in the world, and sort of an epicenter of all the major religions, Christians, Jews, Muslims alike. Next, please. And as far as the Muslims are concerned, this is Masjid al-Nuqta, where, according to traditions, the head of Imam Hussein, the grandson of Prophet Muhammad, was placed on a stone. It was a church at that time by a Christian priest. And this is the stone depicting the oozing of the blood, which is seen even today. Next, please. So IMI is busy in the devastated areas, and Aleppo is one of them. So now, what do we want to do moving forward? So we have collaborated not only with our own already collaborating organizations, but also the Turkish American organizations, and a very good friend of mine, Dr. Abuz, in New Jersey, who represents certain NGOs from Turkey. We are partnering with them to develop the shelter homes, and also with our own access, we have the plan to establish the shelter homes. There is a village that we want to start, if permission would be granted by the authorities. It will be a container village, 100 homes. Each container home will cost $5,000. So for 100 homes, we need $500,000 to establish that. It will be in the Haiti area. In Syria, where the operation is already undergoing in IMI Zainab, we conduct our business in Syria through our subsidiary organization called IMI Zainab. We want to start a mobile health hospital. The usual cost of that hospital will be roughly between $600,000 to $900,000. We have already done the groundwork for that, and our legal experts are trying to get the licensing of such a mobile health unit to serve humanity there, not only in the devastating areas, but on a continuous basis. This will serve the devastated humanity in Syria and around the Syria throughout the year, and special and revered days such as Ashura or Arba'in. The mobile health setup could be stationed at Sayyida Ruqayya or Sayyida Zainab to help the thousands of Zawar who come from around the world. So this is the future plan. Next, please. You can see the pictures of the mobile health unit. These are some equipments which we have just brought from Germany, who have been lodged at our specialty center in Damascus. And very recently, after the earthquake, our one of our Global Board of Regents member, Dr. Adnan Ali, who's a plastic surgeon out of New Zealand, visited Syria to oversee all what's going on. Myself, I was in Turkey. The day the earthquake came, I was in Istanbul all day coordinating the efforts out there. Next, please. So these are some pictures from our work in Turkey and Syria. Next, please. Next, please. So these are some pictures of what is happening from our platform in these two countries. Next, please. And as you know, Ramadan is coming. Last Ramadan, we supported the Syrian Access with $150,000 US dollars that we provided for as part of the Ramadan support. And this year, especially, I'm requesting all of you that since Ramadan is around the corner, please contribute your donations this Ramadan, especially for Turkey and Syria, because such a devastation has happened. People have lost their homes, their income, their jobs, and so on. So I think these brethren in Islam need our full support, especially this Ramadan. Next, please. So these are some pictures of the mobile health unit that we want to establish in Syria. Next, please. Next, please. So there are certain ways that you can get involved. Professional and paraprofessional wings are available. IMI's Women Wing is there, IMI Youth Wing, and we have the representative of IMI's Youth Wing, PST, Shabba. I'm very happy to see you here. And there are lots of young people who want to actually engage with you and be part of the PST forum. So please do connect with all the young people here. IMI Pharmaceutical Wing, Dental Wing, Nurses Wing, Medical Chaplaincy Wing. These are all the wings of the organization, and I would request that pertaining to your specialty and area of work, you can be part of those, or you can be a volunteer for IMI, or you can be a monthly donor for IMI. We need tons of financial support because of all the 80 projects ongoing, plus all the devastation that has happened in the world in which we are engaged quite heavily. So I must end here. My time is over with just one couplet in Urdu. Ye jo hawa mein aaj asar hai khumar ka, shayad bahut qareeb hai mausam bahar ka. Shukriya.
I was reminded that while I have thanked all other communities and other associations, I have forgotten to thank Zanabia, a community that I belong to, and most importantly, my wife and in-laws belong to. So out of a concern of my own safety and well-being, I would formally thank the Zanabia Association as well for their contribution.
Actually, it's just not that. We are very grateful to our Zanabia community and center, and we are so happy that you all always rendered support to us. And when I reached out to our Zanabia center for IMI, they were so supportive. So thank you so much. It's an honor to have you all.
And another thanks to Makkah Center, which is in Canton, and Maulana is here. So he always welcome to us, and he say we are totally support you regarding the whatever you want to do in the future for IMI. For loud salawat for Zanabia and Makkah Center. La, Bismillah.
As I see through all these faces that have gathered here, I realize one thing. We all come from different backgrounds, different personalities, different perspectives, different stories and different attitudes about life. But we are all here for one common purpose. In our meetings and in our WhatsApp groups and in our TikToks and our Snapchats and in our conferences and our busy schedules, we have kind of forgotten a little bit of our identity. The dust of time has settled on us. Today we are here to remove that dust and find ourselves. As we jostle through the stampede of life, we have broken pieces of ourselves, small disconnects from who we are. There is a Japanese saying, a concept called kintsugi, that there is beauty in broken pieces. Today, we all are here to collect those broken pieces of our own identity and our own selves and to make ourselves that common purpose, that common goal that we are here as empathy. As we look through and sift through our own sources of suffering and grief and joy and happiness, we are here to search that common thread of humanity that binds us all. Like Quran said, we all are shu'uban wa qabaila, with different tribes and different families and different groups and ethnicities, but we all are common in one humanity, all different branches of this great tree of life. Today, we are here to donate and contribute and share our empathy with all those people who we may not know, but they share the bond of humanity and brotherhood with us. Many of us in this gathering are seasoned adults. We have seen many moons of life. We are now seasoned individuals and professionals settled. We are here to follow the footstep of a tribal leader, Amr. He was the elder of his family, responsible for well-being and upkeep of them. He was an entrepreneur. When his tribe and his city was trading in the neighborhood of their own vicinity, local merchants, he encouraged them to make trade caravans and take them to far-off markets of Syria and Yemen and Abyssinia. He was a diplomat. He wrote to the kings of that time and arranged a sort of permit for his people. He was a negotiator, talked to the tribal leaders, the paths through which the caravan was supposed to go, and arranged for the safety. He was a project manager, made sure that the caravans left on time, traveled through the routes, and came back, and he made a small fortune in that. Not like the fortune of those foreign sovereigns or oil tycoons or tech moguls, but he was well settled, and he was an organizer. Sitting in the Darul Nudwa, the parliament, the gathering place with all his tribesmen, he organized to make sure that all or some parts of the profits of that trade goes to the people who are less fortunate than him. He was a rescue worker. When famine struck that day in the city and the neighborhood, he sent his camels to Syria to bring olives and wheat. Camel, they say there are more than 1,000 words to describe camel in Arabic. And why not? A camel is their food. They eat its meat. A camel is their water. A camel is their shelter. In the thunderstorms and the sandstorms, they hide under its protection. A camel's hide is their clothes. A camel's bones are used in the shelters and the construction of materials. A camel's shoulder blade was their writing material, a tablet of sorts. He sacrificed his camels. Those were his SUV, his friends, kind of like a part of family. But when people of that area needed his help, that people stricken from natural calamity and disaster, he sacrificed his camel. He broke the bread into olive and camel meat, and he fed the people of Makkah. That day, Amr became Hashim, the great-grandfather of Holy Prophet. Today, as I look through these faces, I see many of us have earned our own place and blessings of life through industry, through hard work. Some of us are entrepreneurs like him, project managers like him, negotiators like him. And today we are here all to follow the footsteps of Hashim. Hashim is in many of our names. Hashim is definitely in the blood of many of us here. But Hashim is definitely the source of inspiration and the role model that we are here. Let's remember Hashim, and let's follow and let's connect with our identity of who we are and what we do. Kamar bhai?
So we're going to start the fundraising now. So our all volunteers are there. So now I'm going to announce first pledge is one of our Michigan or Zambia Center. Everyone know him, and he gave $5,000. Please, great salawat for Abid Kirbani. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad.
Again, we have volunteers moving through the chairs and the tables. Please, if you would like to be anonymous, mention it to him. We will just mention the donation. But if you would like to donate, please, you can use the credit card. We have credit card machines available. We have checks, and we have other pledges available. So please, you can call them. They are available, and follow your desire, follow your conscience, follow the need to help those people here.
Kumel, go to the, some people calling there, yes. Get that. Okay. Bismillah. There is another $1,500 donation from Dr. Ali Raza. Salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad.
As we see in this gathering, we see a lot of mothers. Mothers clinging protectively to their infants. Mothers looking, smiling at the unbridled energy of their toddlers. Mothers basking in the glory and the warmth of the smiles of their teenager sons and daughters. Today, as mothers, we are here to follow the footsteps of another mother in time. A mother stranded in the middle of an undescript piece of land in a country middle of nowhere. She has her baby in her hand, and that baby is crying. A woman who is on the wrong side of every privilege of that society. She's away from Africa in a kingdom totally different from her. She is black when the racial bile of racism was so deep, much deeper than today, but also carried with it a venom of vocation. You could stay away from the sun if you wanted. She was a woman when matriarchy was so strong then that even children used to inherit the wives and slaves of their parents. She was there to help her son. The desert was playing its tricks. She ran from one mountain to another mountain. She saw water there, came back, saw water on the other side. 396 meters. That's a little less than 4 football fields. 7 times that woman moved between those posts, those mountains, and 7 times she did not find water. The baby got anxious, started rubbing his heels on the ground. The water came, water pure, clean water, so abundant that she had to call it and say, stop, Zamzam, Zamzam. The tribes came, and in a place where water was a property, where people used to fight for the water, she gave her well to all those travelers who came before her. And that day, that woman became so elevated that her grave is now part of Hatim, the holiest place in Kaaba. And you cannot have your Hajj completed until and unless you follow the footsteps of that woman 7 times between Safa and Marwa. That woman that we are here to follow today is Hajara, the mother of Hazrat Ismail. So we have mothers today who, after having found their own struggles through their own journey of life, from oppression to this new land, where we have our own fears, Islamophobia, racial bigotry, alienation of culture, and even class struggles, have found their own Zamzam and their own oasis, and now here to share with the people of community.
We have a credit card machine. If someone want to pay, so they can pay through credit card machine. So our volunteer is there.
Okay. So we have few donations. We have $150 donation. We have cash donations. We have a check of $500.
We have another donation, $500. Salawat. We have another donation, anonymous. वो कहते हैं कि हमारा नाम अनाउंस ना करें. $2,500. Salawat. Muhammad Zahid, $250. Salawat.
अच्छा ये सारे वो anonymous हैं.
Some people are taking. आपने कर दिया उसमें लिख रहे हैं. मुझे जरूरी है बताना.
Cash donations $250.
Cash donation $250.
Please help us reach our goal today. We are here, and inshallah, we are very confident that with your cooperation and with your contributions, we will be able to achieve the target for today.
So, Amar Ali, $1,000. Salawat.
Call the volunteer if you want. If you need pen, we have pens available. The check can be made, and to IMI, we do accept credit card. We have credit card machines, and
Anonymous.
and if anybody wants to write a check or has a check, please raise your hands.
Anonymous $50. Anonymous $200. Anonymous $500. Imam Ilahi Salawat. Imam Ilahi donate $500. Salawat from House of Wisdom. Everyone knows Share Foundation. Donate $35,000. $3,500. Salawat. $3,500 from Share.
Today, we have kids in this gathering. In this dopamine-driven, ADHD controlled world, where there are sources of endless entertainments, videos after videos, all sorts of TikTok and Snapchat videos available on your fingers.
Another $1,500 from Dr. Sajjad Zalzala, $1,500. Salawat. Another anonymous $2,000 donation. Salawat.
These kids are here. They are sacrificing their time away from all those tablets and phones and devices. They have been working tirelessly with us. They have been collecting different kind of material. They have been arranging in these halls. They are right now running from one table to another. These kids are following the footsteps of two young kids from Medina. They have been there all day. It has been a hot day, and they have been fasting. Their father has gone out and brought some grains for them. Their mother used the hand-held mill and made bread for them. They are about to break the fast when there is a call of distress at the door. In the older times, when people were less tolerant and when there was a bit barbarianism, nobody would have dared calling at the door of someone like him, a general, a warrior. But this was a different house. This was the house of not just a general, but a philosopher. This was the house that the beggars and the people know that was the richest and the most benevolent house of that Medina city. This was the house of Abul Fazl. The parents gave away their bread, and the kids gave up their bread too. Today these kids are here to follow the footsteps of Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein.
Another donation of $1,000 anonymous. Another anonymous donation. Muhammad Ajur, $2,000. Salawat.
IMI वो लोग जो पाकिस्तान और इंडिया में रहते रहे हैं, वो IMI को कुछ हवालों से ज़रूर जानते हैं. मसलन जब भी मुहर्रम का जुलूस निकलता था तो वहाँ पे IMI वालों का, इमामिया मेडिक्स वालों का कैंप ज़रूर होता था. मुझे याद है कि हम कराची में जुलूस जो कि निश्तर बाग से निकलता था और नुमाइश पे जाके ज़ोहर और असर की नमाज होती थी, तो जुलूस के बाद वहाँ ब्लड डोनेशन कैंप होता था और इमामिया के मेडिक्स के रज़ाकार वहाँ पे होते थे, आपका खून का अतिया लेते थे और आपकी अगर मरहम पट्टी है या कोई और ज़रूरत है तो वो पूरी करते थे. इमामिया मेडिक्स पाकिस्तान के हवाले से एक और याद वो भी है जब 90 और 2000 की दहाई में सैकड़ों और हज़ारों डॉक्टरों का कत्लेआम किया गया. उनको उनके नाम की बुनियाद पर, उनकी शिनाख्त की पहचान पर मारा गया. सैकड़ों ऐसे डॉक्टर थे जो अपने क्लिनिक्स में मारे गए या जिनकी खिदमात को किसी की नज़र लग गई. इसके बावजूद इमामिया के डॉक्टरों ने हक का साथ नहीं छोड़ा और इंसानियत की खिदमत नहीं रोकी. हमारे कितने ऐसे जानने वाले थे जो अपने क्लिनिक से रास्ता बदल के घर जाते थे. कितने ऐसे जानने वाले थे जिनके घरों में खत आए, धमकियां आई, इसके बावजूद भी उन्होंने अपनी सब्र और इस्तिकामत का हाथ नहीं छोड़ा. इस वक्त इंडिया, पाकिस्तान, यूके और ऑस्ट्रेलिया और मुख्तलिफ ममालिक हैं जहाँ पे इमामिया मेडिक्स के लोग हैं जो इस वजह से वहाँ से निकलने पर मजबूर हुए क्योंकि उनकी जान को ख़तरा बना दिया गया था. ये भी एक तारीख़ है इमामिया मेडिक्स की कुर्बानियों की. कितनी लाशें, कितनी कब्रें हैं इस वक्त कब्रिस्तानों में पाकिस्तान के जहां इमामिया मेडिक्स के रज़ाकार खामोशी से सो रहे हैं सिर्फ इस एक जुर्म पर कि वो इंसानियत की खिदमत करते थे, वो दुखी लोगों की ख़त्म करते थे. आज हम इमामिया मेडिक्स इंटरनेशनल यहाँ हैं तो हमें उनकी भी याद करनी चाहिए. आप उस याद में अपना कंट्रीब्यूशन करें, उस याद में अपने हिस्से का शुक्राना अदा करें. आज इमामिया मेडिक्स आप सब लोगों से उस याद को ताज़ा करने का कह रही है, उस कुर्बानी के जज्बे को, उस इसार और उस जज्बे का नाम ले रही है जिस जज्बे को उन्होंने उस तमाम खौफ, जबर और इस्तेदाद के बावजूद भी जिंदा रखा.
चले मैं कल में ये रैप अप करें.
As Dr. Waji mentioned, may I have your attention, please?
So another $1,200 check from Share International. Salawat. So before we're going to close our fundraising, if anybody want, because आप देखें रमज़ान शुरू होने वाले हैं अगले 1-1.5 हफ्ते में, तो अच्छा है रमज़ान शुरू होने से पहले आप कुछ दे दें सदका खैरात इन लोगों को, तो खुदा आपकी इन तौफीकात में इजाफा करे और खुदा आपकी इबादत और आपके रोज़ों को मकबूल फरमाए इंशाअल्लाह. तो रमज़ान से पहले दिस इज़ द बेस्ट अपॉर्चुनिटी to pay towards the zakat or khums, whatever. So you can pay those needy people like in Syria and Turkey, you know. So please come up so we can touch a little bit more. Another check of anonymous, $1,000. Salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad.
Yes.
Before we go for the dinner and salat, I just want to conclude this last call for all of you. Today we are here from people from Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, Iraq, Lebanon, Iran, and different parts of here in the middle of America. Statehood is a rather funny concept. It draws lines on the ground. It tells you to look at other people, other states as enemies. War is a really monstrous thing. These places have seen war, and the war tells you to look at them and look at us and alienate them. America has done a very good job of creating these differences in our own way. We have mastered embargoes and we have mastered restrictions, but today in the heartland of America, we are here to gather and celebrate in many ways the best of this culture and society. We are here to give, and we are here to celebrate that there is no cause bigger than humanity, and that we all are citizens of this great, citizens without boundaries and citizens without barriers. So I request of you all, last request for donations. Please call the volunteers. Please write your checks. We just have a few more minutes left before we break for our dinner, and please use this opportunity. Thank you very much, all of you, for participating in this fundraiser. I request all our dignitaries, all the representatives and boards of the various centers to please proceed to the lunch area, and then I request all of you to follow them. Yes, please. The lunch is, dinner is served. Please proceed. Thank you very much, all of you, and a very loud salawat for the efforts of all the organizers, all the participants, and everybody. Loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. We don't